Had a bunch of really interesting conversations on this show so far. We talked with John Greenberg, his article, probably the most complete piece that's been written about the Blackhawks firing of John McDonough. We went in depth on that. Talked some basketball with Joe Cowley as well, and talked a little bit about who the Bulls should hire to replace Jim Boylan as coach when they get around to doing that. Okay, help. I need your help. Help me. Let's start with a little story here. We've been in this house. We live on the northwest side of Chicago, and we've been in this lovely house for 15 years. And obviously, when we bought it, they built these houses, and they included sod in the front and the back, and there was grass there. It's a little tiny little thing, and you know, it's a Chicago city house. It's not much. It's just a little bit of grass. My house is aligned with northern exposure in the front yard and southern exposure in the backyard. And that means I have two separate biomes entirely. The backyard is essentially shot because it's a brick oven. I've got a brick patio back there. It gets nothing but direct sunlight. Nothing survives there. Even in the middle of winter, you go out on the back porch and it's always 10 degrees warmer than anywhere else. It's just really hot back there. And it's the backyard. I don't care. I don't really have a responsibility to have the backyard look good. I've kind of let it go prairie. There's rabbits there all the time. I got my little herb garden there, and I'm not worried about the backyard. I'm at peace with it. I've let it go. There's dandelions and clover and rabbits, and it's fine. Now, the front yard is different. For years, there was a local guy named Kenny, who was a landscaper, and he was great. And he would come by, and he didn't charge very much, and he would keep things up and do a little trimming and a little mowing, and everything was all right. But over time, the grass in the front died. It just didn't get enough sun, and eventually it just sort of died of old age. I don't know what exactly happened, but the grass was gone. So before last year, Kenny, my landscaper, Kenny's like, you know what? I'm getting out of the landscaping business. I'm like, okay, great. So I asked for recommendations. And I hire this landscaper because one of my friends down a couple houses down, he uses them. Biggest mistake of my life. Complete nightmare. They didn't return phone calls. You couldn't get anybody to answer any questions. You never knew when they were coming. They went to the wrong house a couple of times. They insisted they had been to the house when they hadn't been to the house, and it was just a complete nightmare. So I said, all right, you know what, let's sod the front. I'm going to need some sod. So they charged me $1,000, and they put in this gorgeous sod that grows and grows and grows, and it's this lush green sod. And then you know what happened? It died. And it just wasn't there anymore, and it was nothing but dirt. And they said, oh, we'll come out and look at it. It's fine. I said, it's not fine, it's dead. So they said, no, it's fine. Our foreman says it's fine. And I said, well, it's not fine because it's dirt, and it's bad. So I fired them. And I figured, you know what's going to happen this year, this spring? I'm going to do it myself. I am going to go and I'm going to buy seed, and I'm going to put the seed down, and I'm going to grow grass. So I did. And I go to Home Depot, and I felt, okay, I put my mask on, and I go there. And this was a couple of weeks ago, and because it's their lawn and garden stuff is actually outside, you don't feel like you're inside this cramped store. And they let you in one by one out, one in. So it's like only 100 people can be in this massive store at the same time. They do a really good job with it. So I buy seed, and my son and I start throwing down all the seed, and it's a mixture, and it's special seed for deep shade, and it's got mulch in there, and it's got the little fertilizer in there. It's a do-it-yourself thing. So I set it all down, and we're there, and it's fine. And then it snows, and then somebody tells me, it's too early because the ground isn't warm enough and it's not going to germinate. I'm like, all right, well, I'll wait. I'll be fine. And then the birds came. Then the sparrows came. The sparrows, you know what they do? They eat voraciously, and they picked it clean. They came in and ate all of it. Every single last seed. Every seed gone. All that money we spent basically had just the biggest bird feeder you'd ever find. And these little sparrows, I don't know where they put it. I know they got to eat their weight every day in grass seed. Well, thank me, because I fed these damn things, and all the seed gone. So I asked, and I asked around, and people said, oh, you know what you need? You need something to scare away the birds. You need an owl. And I said, well, I'm not going to train an owl. And I don't know how to put an owl in a box. I said, no, you need a plastic owl. You need a decoy plastic owl. They really work. And I said, okay, awesome. So I'm going to go get more seed, and I'm going to get the owl, and now I'm going to be fine. So I do. And I go, and I get more bags of seed. And I say, do you have a plastic decoy owl? And the woman says, yes, we do. I'll show you where. So we go in, and she says, oh, we're out. Somebody just bought the last plastic decoy owl. And I think, damn it. But now I've got all this seed. So what am I going to do? So I call Menards, and I say, do you have plastic owls? And they say, yes, we do have plastic owls. And I say, hot damn, I'm going to go get one. So I drive over, and I put on my mask, and I go in, and I look, and they're out. And I said, I called, and you said you had plastic owls. I don't see a plastic owl. They say, well, we have them. We just don't have them. And I said, well, that's not understanding the concept of having, because you may regularly stock them, but that doesn't mean at the moment you have them. It doesn't do me any good that you usually regularly have them, because you don't have them here. They say, well, sorry. I say, okay. So I call the other Home Depot, and I say, do you have plastic decoy owls? And they say, yes. And I say, like, you have them, like, they're on the shelf. You actually have an owl. They say, yeah, weirdo. It's here. It's actually right there, aisle 5. And I said, okay, I'm coming right over. Don't sell it out from under me, because I'm going to buy an owl. So I get there, and it's there. And I grab it, and I name him, and I hug him, because this is my owl, and he's going to make everything better. And I pay the $20, and it's got the head turns and the whole thing. This is a damn good one. This is like the best decoy owl you can find. And I bring it home, and we put the seed down again, and I set the owl right where you're supposed to set the owl. And there he is. He's there to guard my seeds, to make sure the birds don't get him. So I set the owl down. Everything is just fine, and it's all there. And then I walk up the stairs and into the house, and I go around, take off my shoes, and I go around the living room, and I look out the bay window, and what happens? The sparrows came back, and they didn't care about the owl. And they immediately said, thanks for the seed. And they started eating it again. And I'm screaming. I'm like, there's an owl right there. It's going to eat you. It eats you. You're supposed to be scared of the owl. So my neighbor's outside, and she says, maybe try pinwheels. And then somebody else says, try balloons. And someone else says you take an old CD that reflects, and they don't like that. Or you have to get the mechanical owl that hoots at night, or the bird that flaps its wings. So, I don't know. And then they say you want mulch or you don't want mulch. You got to take the mulch off of there. And then somebody says, well, cover it all with dirt. Cover it all with dirt? Oh, I don't know what to do.
I've got your answer. Concrete patio.
In the front?
Yes. Who cares? You live in a city anyway.
That's going to look dumb.
Well, it's better than your bare lawn full of sparrows.
Well, this is...
And members of bare lawn full of sparrows.
Seed blankets, a roll of hay. Rollings of hay.
Just sit out there and yell at the birds.
Oh, but it's like it makes me insane. I put down all this seed, and every time I walk by, the birds are there, and these tiny little birds eat ridiculous amounts of seed.
You're literally putting their food on your lawn. It's like if it's like you put a bunch of steak on your lawn and Shane showed up, you wouldn't be confused about it.
Right. No, Shane comes over. And actually, one of my neighbors did do field turf. And actually just said, screw it, nothing's going to grow because the house looks the same direction. And there's got to be something. There's got to be some magic bullet here. Something. And I tried too. I thought, I can do this. I can figure out how to put seed down. They idiot-proof all this stuff. And then I said, don't they make seed with like a coating on it that the birds don't want to eat? And then the woman at Home Depot said, yeah, but a lot of the birds around here have adapted, and they eat that. They're like Chicago sparrows or Chicago tough, and they eat, like, bird-proofed seed now. Like, what the hell, man? God. And now I like birds, and it's making me not like birds anymore. And I got the only damn owl that doesn't work. Why doesn't my fake owl work? Why did I get the only owl? A fake cat or a real cat?
Real cat. Or just you can buy like dried coyote urine and just sprinkle that all over the place. Or just go grab a coyote off Michigan Avenue.
They're here.
Just lasso one of them.
The coyotes are around here. I gotta like have one of my kids like with a stick out there, or just like something to scream at the birds. Because every time I open the door in my underpants, the birds scatter and they go sit in the 2 trees in front of my house, and then I close the door and they come right down and start eating all the seed again. Damn it!
I'm telling you, man, just pave it. Front yard pool.
I hate this. It is the most powerless feeling, and I'm pouring money down the toilet, buying all this high-tech grass seed, and the sparrow's like, hey, he's back again. He put more food down. And this 708 says put down sod. I did! It died! Because there wasn't enough sun. It was the wrong kind of grass, apparently. And no, it's not a grub problem. It's not a soil problem. They backfilled everything when they put the sod down. They stripped out all the old soil. They put in all new soil and a special drainage thing and sand and all that. And then that sod died because they didn't put down the right kind for low shade. So I get the low shade seed, and now it's flying around in the stomachs of birds. And I don't know. I'm completely at my wit's end here.
I'm sorry, Dan. I wish I could be more help.
Dan, we have a caller, Joe from St. Charles, and he has a solution for you.
Okay, Joe in St. Charles, you're on the score. Can you help me?
Dan, this worked for me, and I don't think the birds in my neighborhood were blind. But what I did was, and I was concerned about, because you're basically sprinkling bird food out there, right? So basically what I did when I went to the store and got the grass seed, I also bought a big bag of peat moss. I roughed up the dirt. I sprinkled the seed on it, and then I covered it with peat moss. Not thickly, and the birds, I guess, didn't see the seeds. They left it alone, and it grew in just great.
Okay, that's a thought. I'm going to be headed back, wandering around Home Depot, muttering to myself, but why did I get the only owl that doesn't work? Everybody said the owl works. Why are they not scared of it? How do they adapt to not being scared? They're supposed to see that and think, oh, that thing's going to eat my dumb ass, and they don't think that. All right, I gotta figure out my life and the nature of human existence and man's inhumanity to man. And while we do all that, we're going to also talk about the big Blackhawks news coming up next with Mark Lazarus, the senior writer from The Athletic, because we talked about the John McDonough thing, but not really from a hockey perspective. I thought I'd feel better after talking about the infernal birds, but I don't. I should. Mark Lazarus joins us next on The Score.